Joining us now for an exclusive interview is Philippe Vallee. He is the Gemalto CEO. Philippe, thank you so much for joining us. Sounds like Atos is going to go hostile. How open would you be to having a negotiation with Atos? Are you open to a discussion at all?
Well, I mean, let's be clear. I mean, we just got the news that they said they will pursue at this price, and I need to talk obviously and discuss with my board. But let's make clear we need to really push our arguments. Here we think that Gemalto is significantly undervalued, and what probably more important, I would say that it doesn't really take into account the interests of our different stakeholders, in particular our employees and our customers, and we need to understand really better what it means in terms of integration and how we would pursue our strategy within Atos. And for me, it's not really clear. We have created a leader in digital security over the last 11 years, and breaking the company into different parts doesn't really tell me how we're going to pursue what we have created vis-à-vis our customers and all we have to sell to them.
Philippe, good morning. This is Anna in Brussels. So your shareholders have been through the business perhaps through a couple of difficult episodes this year. What visibility do you have on the business? So if you manage to stand alone, what visibility do you have, assurances to give to shareholders that there won't be further profit warnings?
Well, we have created a very compelling story in terms of digital security. Today within Gemalto we have different businesses which are growing, like for example what we do for enterprise, like we do for governments, like we do for the Internet of Things. And indeed we are facing the transition in the SIM business, and this is something which is making that the mobile network operators are less investing in the traditional SIMs. But let's not forget that the SIM now does represent only 17% of our businesses, and we intend indeed to accelerate on the growing businesses. We made a significant acquisition in 2017 from 3M, and this is being integrated. This is about biometric, for example, and this is really helping us to accelerate on our growing part of the business.
Philippe, you mentioned that you still have to talk formally to the board about this, but obviously nobody's going to forget to give you a call after this kind of news. The shareholders that you've spoken to or the board members with whom you've talked, what is their reaction to this, and what have they been telling you? What's the feedback you've been getting?
Well, I mean, as far as the offer we received, the feedback is pretty clear. I mean, we need to understand how Gemalto would be able to pursue its strategy. We need to understand what will happen to our employees, and we think that vis-à-vis our shareholder, this offer undervalues the company, and therefore our board had to react about this, and this is what we did yesterday. We had until the 15th to answer, and which we did yesterday, and indeed we need to understand better what it means, the news we had this morning that Atos doesn't change anything on its offer, and this is something I will do with my board in the coming hours.
Philippe, it's Manus. I'd like to press you a little bit more on the phrase, which is acceptable and standard in the market, that you refer to this undervaluation of the company at $5.1 billion and 46 euros a share. So if that's undervalued, what is the real value then of Gemalto? Where can you, as the CEO, tell a shareholder, are you going to be able to add? If you remain standalone, can you reassure your shareholders, I will add another €500 million to this business. I will add another €1 billion to this business. What is the real value then of your company? If you're telling us it's undervalued, tell me where do you take it to as a defense?
Well, what was very important for us, for Gemalto and for our teams, it's to conclude positively 2017. And indeed, we issue several profit warning due to the story on the SIM card transition and because of what has happened in the US on the banking business. But this is a part of the company. More than 50% of the company is growing. I mean, the banking business is fine. We had to go through the resorption of the inventory entry on the US market for the card, for the banking card. And we say to our shareholders that we will come to them with a new strategic plan, and we set the date. This is March the 13th. And the idea is indeed to present how Gemalto will evolve toward the leader in digital security. Means helping our customers to secure the digital access to their customers. And for this, we have very interesting elements in our portfolio, like authentication, like data protection, like biometrics.
Philippe, I get that. I get that, and we understand that you're very much nearly at the end of 2017. But you're going to have to come up with a very strong defensive line, aren't you, if Atos goes hostile? And telling the market that I need more time to transition to 2018 with my numbers is probably not going to be the strongest of defense, is it?
No, I do. I mean, what I mean is that we had planned for a capital market day in March. We may advance that capital market day in order, indeed, to tell clearly to our shareholders what is our organic plan, what is our standalone plan, to make sure they understand that we would create more value with our plan versus the offer we have today on the table. But this is something I can do. But for me, the first point was indeed to conclude 2017 in a more positive note, which we are about to do.
Are you having any conversations with any other companies, Philippe? Do you see value in perhaps exploring a tie-up with another business to offer you some protection from Atos?
Well, so far the priority for us, I mean, remember we got this offer on the 28th of November, so it's pretty short. We had less time than what we anticipated to answer because Atos decided to go public with this offer, which is a little bit not friendly, I would say, and we need to, let's say, take our stance today. What was important for my board so far was to make sure we take enough time to answer this public offer, which we did yesterday. And again, I will convene my board again today to see what could be the next steps. And for the time being, I have no pretty much new comment to do besides what we said yesterday in our answer.
You know, Philippe, I've got a chart up here. It shows analysts' ratings. Out of the 17 that we follow, only 5 have Gemalto as a buy, although your price has gone well past their 12-month price target. What do you tell analysts who are watching the stock and kind of a proxy for, or maybe an advertisement for investors, that they've got wrong?
Well, I mean, the only way to prove them that we have a compelling case as a standalone and as a unique combination of businesses is by telling them what our perspective for 2018 and beyond. For the time being, it's a bit too early to give any outlook for 2018. We were preparing that for the early part of for next year, and indeed we may accelerate what we could say to our analysts. They know well our businesses, and they know well what's going on the growth part of the company. We need indeed to come with something which is efficient on our more mature market, the smart card businesses, and we have a plan for it. I don't want to unveil that plan today, but we have clearly a plan about what to do with our more mature businesses, and this will probably give them more comfort about how we manage for cash this part of our business.
What about cash? Can you give some of that back to shareholders?
Well, we have today enough cash flow to generate in order to deleverage the company, and this is what we are working on. Remember, we made a significant acquisition in 2017 to really transform further the company. And indeed, as far as the mature business are concerned, those businesses are still generating cash. I mean, we are conducting today a transition plan to make sure that those businesses are adjusted with their sufficient cost base. I mean, we have addressed that question in many parts of the company. We are today negotiating with the union in France to see how we could adjust our cost base for the mature business again in this part of the world. And so this is, let's say, a process in working, and it's very important. We are today facing a low point for Gemalto stock. If this is obvious, and I mean, the approach of Atos is opportunistic. That's smart on their side, but I mean, we need to defend ourselves.
Got it. All right, Philippe, thanks so much for your time this morning. Philippe Vallee, Gemalto CEO, joining us from Paris.